Hey guys, what's up? Ryan Potter here with Berkshire Hathaway Home Services Ambassador Real Estate. Hope you are doing well and welcome back to my Why series. I told you that this is kind of going to be the new series for a while, answering a lot of questions starting with why. So the first one I did was just why real estate, why I chose to get into real estate and all that stuff, and I hope you had a chance to get to know me a little bit and why I chose the industry that I'm in now. And now I'm going to go through kind of some of these questions that I feel like a lot of people are asking, whether they're past clients, future clients, current clients. These are some of the kind of real estate 101 whys and some of the things to talk about. So why get pre-approved? That's the first one that I feel like I get a lot of questions about is why get pre-approved? Why start that process now when I'm not going to buy until maybe 3, 6, 18 months down the road? Well, here's why. To know where you stand, right? You want to know what you can afford. Your realtor also wants to know what you can afford, and so does the seller when you go to write and purchase a house. They also want to know why you are a ready, willing, and able buyer. And if you are a ready, willing, and able buyer, by showing them that pre-approval, you are actually answering that question of why do you want to purchase my house? Well, because I'm ready, I'm willing, and I'm able, and I love it. And so that's what you're telling the seller there when you get pre-approved for something. The next thing is to also show sellers and your realtor that you're actually serious about starting that process. I learned early on, and actually watching other people with it, there was a lot of my friends and close coworkers that were getting the runaround from buyers and showing them house after house after house after house, months and months and months and months, and then they end up not buying. And I always ask them the question, well, did they get pre-approved? Well, I don't know. I'm like, wait, you were showing them houses before you didn't know or knew that they were pre-approved? That doesn't make any sense. So the first step that I always tell people when I'm meeting with them, when they're thinking about buying, is have you been pre-approved? If the answer is no, then we want to get you set up with a lender, somebody that I work with, or somebody that you know that is trustworthy and reliable, and that has going to create a smooth transaction for you throughout that process. Because I will tell you, the pre-approval process takes some time. Now, depending on how fast you get them the paperwork, you could be pre-approved in a couple days. In most cases, you're probably pre-approved in about a week, just because they're going to need certain documents from you, and I can go into that more later in the long run. So that can be something that I can cover later on. But just know why get pre-approved. Well, because you want to basically set yourself up right for success from the beginning. That's the first step to take if you're thinking about purchasing a house, is getting pre-approved. So it's going to move me into my next two why questions. Why buy and why sell, right? So why buy? Well, right now, I challenge buyers to think a little bit differently. Why buy? Because you're paying someone else's mortgage right now. Whether that's an apartment building or whether that's somebody's house, you're paying their mortgage for them. So why would you want to continue to pay someone else's mortgage when you can start paying your own and building equity into that, right? Especially right now in Omaha. When I look at some of the prices right now, I know what I'm paying in rent as we get our house built. I know what my friends are paying in rent. And sometimes I'm like, why in the world are you paying $700 for a 3-bedroom, 2-bath home that you can be in for probably $1,200? It doesn't make any sense. So as you start thinking through that process, if you're tired of paying your mortgage to somebody else and paying somebody else's mortgage, and you're tired of paying your landlord, then why don't you think about paying your own mortgage and building some equity into that, right? So that's one thing. Start investing in yourself and your family, right? If you're going to buy your house, why would you not want to invest in one of the number one things and the most expensive things that you will ever purchase in your entire life, right? That's going to be your house, probably other than a car, unless you're driving a Ferrari and you're living in a $150,000 house. For the most part, the house is going to be the most expensive thing that you're going to buy, so why not invest early and get started on that and start building equity, so then as your family gets bigger and as your job grows and all these things start to happen, now you have equity that's going into that house, and now you have a bigger down payment that you can use for that house later on down the road when you go to sell that. I'm going to talk about that more here in a minute. Take advantage of the low interest rates. I know you've probably been hearing this a lot. We've been hearing it a lot, especially in the last couple of years. We keep hearing that, oh, the interest rates are going to go up, they're going to go up, they're going to go up. They're really not going up too much. They're staying around the same 3 to 4 to 4.5% rates that you're at. Take advantage of that. Looking back, gosh, I think I saw a chart back in 1985. It was like 11.7% or 12% or something like that. And I know my parents' friends and people that when they first bought their house, man, they were paying interest rates of like 16, 17%, which right now seems outrageous. But take advantage of that low interest rate. I'm going to provide some charts for you at the bottom so you can see kind of the advantage of going now versus waiting later when they go up. You'll see how much money you're going to save in the long run. Tax benefits of owning a house, right? When you buy a house, you're going to get tax benefits and tax write-offs. So that's another thing. It can be the beginning of establishing cash flow, right? So if you're someone that's interested in, maybe you have a house right now, or you have, or you're looking at purchasing a second house for an investment property or something like that, or you're a first-time home buyer that's going to purchase that $130,000, $140,000, $150,000 house, and then 5-10 years down the road, you're going to use it as a rental property to rent out. You've now established and started a cash flow system for you. So what I tell buyers is buying a house can be one of the best decisions that you will ever make. Why? Because you're investing your money in something that you're going to get money back in, right? So if you put money in stocks and bonds and gold and silver and all this stuff, you're not going to get the type of return that you're going to get back on buying and when you go to sell a house. It's just not going to happen. And you can argue that day in and day out, but the statistics and the facts show there's nothing that compares to it. So why not invest in real estate? It's the number one thing people are investing in right now. So that's all I got to say about that. Why sell? So why do you want to sell right now? Well, in Omaha right now, we've got 24 houses on the market currently. That inventory is starting to creep back up a little bit from where it was in the past here, but it's still low. So what does that mean? It means it's time. It means it's time for you to take advantage. If you're thinking about selling your home, there's still time to do it, and there's still time to get that top dollar for you. It could be that you're running out of space. Maybe you're going through a divorce. Maybe you're a couple that now your kids have gone off to college and you're ready to downsize. Take advantage of the market. Take advantage of this low inventory and take advantage of being with one of the best realtors in Omaha, myself, and marketing your property properly and getting you the most money in the shortest amount of time to do that. Take advantage of the market. Yes, it's slow, but it's still low inventory. I talked about that. Take your equity and make a larger down payment on the next home, right? So if you're downsizing or even if you're upgrading, take advantage of this low inventory market, because now you can take that money and you can put it down on a larger down payment, so to bring that loan down as you move into that newer home, right? I mean, that's what Vanessa and I basically did. We flipped 2 houses in the last 2.5 years, and we took that equity and we rolled it over into our build, and we put a substantial amount down for our build so that we could do that sooner and quicker than what we had planned before. It's simple and it's easy. Take equity and look of investing in multiple investment properties. So there's another option. Maybe you're someone that is downsizing, and or maybe you're someone that just wants to start getting some more cash flow. Here's a question that I have for you when I think about this is, if something were to happen to you today and you lost your job or you got injured and you could no longer work your job, are you able to sustain the same amount of lifestyle and living that you're doing right now? If the answer is no, then my next question would be, what is set up in place to help you keep be able to pay off those expenses, to be able to drive the same car that you're driving, to be able to live in the same house that you're living in, to be able to live the same lifestyle that you're living, whether you go out to eat or whatever the case that may be? How are you able to do that if that were to happen to you? And most people, I will tell you this, and it's a small percentage. It's a small percentage of people that if that were to happen, that they would still be able to live like the way they're living now. In most cases, there's a high percentage of those people that are going to have to end up selling cars, their house, and we don't want that. We don't want that. We want to be able to establish you and set up some cash flow. So what's a way of doing that? Well, a way of them doing that is investing in investment properties and rental properties, right? You just heard me talk about how high rent is here in Omaha. Omaha is a great city where you can rent for a lot of money and people are paying for it. Like I said, we're in a 3-bedroom, 2-bath old Hartstone home and we're paying more than what we paid in the last 2 houses that we've lived in that had more square footage and more open space than what we have now, more storage than what we have now, but we're still paying it. Why? Well, because we need a place to live while something gets built. Why are people still paying higher rent for, well, because one, people want to be out of an apartment and they want to be into a house and they want their own space. But two, people are paying this high amount because they don't think that they can afford to get into a house later on down there. That's why we want to get you pre-approved and talking to a lender to see, hey, can we get you into a house where your mortgage payment's $1,100 instead of your rent payment of $1,700, right? So that's an option there. And then moving into that investment property. So I'm going to back up on that. Taking the equity if you sold your house and buying up investment properties, right? Because now that's going to establish a cash flow. So what I mean by cash flow is this. If you bought a house, let's say like I'm just talking about, 3-bedroom, 2-bath house, your mortgage payment's going to be $900, $1,000, maybe $1,100, right? Depending on what you put down or what you can afford. You could possibly pay that off by selling your house and the equity that you have, and now you have this house that you can use for some cash flow. Now you're renting it out, hear me out on this, for $1,700, $1,600 a month. And so you're paying somebody else is paying your mortgage, right? And now you've got a cash flow of $500, $600 a month that you didn't have before. Crazy, right? It's an easy way to make some additional money without having to do a whole lot. And it's super easy when you have somebody like me to help you guide you through that process. So I hope that helped you out. I'm going to be continuing to move into this why series. There's so many why questions that I want to cover with you guys and that I'm looking forward to. But today, those are the 3 that I wanted to cover. Why get pre-approved? Why buy? Why sell? I'm going to attach some things on here for you if you're looking at buying, if you're looking at selling, and if you're looking at current interest rates and things like that and getting pre-approved. I'm going to attach some things to this video for you to have and to look over. If you have any questions whatsoever, you know how to contact me, realtorpotter.com. You can contact me and connect with me on any platform whatsoever. You can also call me or text me anytime you want, Facebook me, Instagram me, Snapchat me, LinkedIn me, whatever it is. Contact me. It's all available to you. realtorpotter.com to connect there or to comment on this video. Get others to subscribe as we continue to go through this series. I'm looking forward to it. Thanks, guys. Ryan Potter, Berkshire Hathaway, Home Services Ambassador Real Estate. It is my privilege to educate you and to continue to train you on moving forward on just all these different aspects and levels of real estate and what our industry is about. So thanks, guys. I look forward to chatting with you soon and hearing back from you. So thanks a lot. See you later.